Suma's POV.
After flying for 6 hours straight, our squad finally landed on the eastern coast of the island of Sangu. We spent the last several days preparing ourselves and saying our goodbyes to our friends, just in case the worst happens. Now myself, Captain Giguales, Lieutenant Datahu, Nine, Rue, Odins and Jake were all on the island. It was the dead of night, with only the light of the moon to help us see, but most of the light was being blocked by the rising smoke from the mountain, or volcano, as Jake called it, at the center of the island. Landing in the jungle, we all immediately got to work making temporary cover for ourselves. Using different spells, we molded the rocks and dirt to form a hollowed-out space underground, and covered it with the local trees and plants. There were 2 exits, and both were hidden with shrubs and tree roots. Captain called it a dugout. One by one, the others summoned their familiars, and they left to scout the forest. Jake went with them, but he landed with us, so there was no need to summon him.
Alright everyone, start scent sharing, except you, Suma, you keep watch, the captain said.
Yes sir, I said. Keep your eyes on both the sky and the ground, Private. SUS could be hiding anywhere, and we cannot be sure we were not seen on descent, the lieutenant said. An SUF was short for Southern Union Forces. With that, the eyes of the rest of the team all started to glow, as they began to share their familiar senses. I left the dugout and waited in a tree branch, constantly switching between watching the sky, the land, and what little of the beach I could make out from the trees. During training, the squad had been taught various ways to hide at night while being on lookout, but the only one I was good at was the tuck and press method. It is exactly what it sounds like. I was pressing myself against the tree as closely as I could manage, with my wings and head tucked in, trying to hide behind and under the canopy. After an hour and 3 wing cramps, Jake contacted me over our private connection.
Suma, everything okay there?
Yes, nothing has happened yet. Have you found anything? I asked him.
No, it's dark as crap, so I can't see a thing. Plus I had to send the bike back. It doesn't turn it well, so flying it through a jungle didn't end up working. I'm walking right now. Only thing I've found is a black sand beach, but I can see a light in the distance.
How long will it take you to reach it?
A while, and I doubt I can get close. It might be a city, so they'd have guards.
Okay, Jake, avoid it for now.
Have the others found the contact yet? Jake asked.
I have not spoken with them in an hour. Are their familiars still searching?
I don't know. We all split up a while ago. Some of them are pretty fast, even in a jungle.
Okay, let me know if you find anything, I said, and the connection ended. Looking up towards the moon, it had not even reached the first quarter point in the sky. Sundown happened only an hour before we landed, and we had only been here for 2. 9 hours till sunup, I thought to myself. It ended up being a long night. Just before sunup, we all summoned our familiars or sent them home, and I went back into the dugout. Actually, I was the only one who summoned their familiar, and Jake was not overly happy with being summoned into another tunnel. Luckily, I remembered to make him a larger space for him to sit down in, but he was still very uncomfortable.
Alright, situation reports. What did everyone see? The captain asked, as we all sat in the dirt,
with only the light from a single luminous braid to help us see. Roots hung from above us, occasionally dripping water down. Thankfully, we were several feet underground, so it would not get hot for several hours. Unfortunately, that also meant it was almost freezing cold.
Cities, the lieutenant asked.
9 answered.
1 village, not a lot of Nume living there. It looked like it had been attacked more than once. About a day's travel if we stay low. If we fly, we can be there in a few minutes, to the northwest. I saw something that could have been a city to the south, Jake said. There was a lot of light. I got as close as I could, and I think I saw buildings, but I spotted something that looked like a guard tower, so I left. You did the right thing. We'll send one of the familiars better suited for stealth back tonight, the captain said. I found 2 villages to the west. One was abandoned, but the other was being occupied by SUFs, Odin said.
How could you tell? Lieutenant Datahu asked.
Some were riding familiars and using villages to grow food. The people growing looked half-starved, and the ones on familiars were wearing emblems, like the ones we wear on base.
Anyone find our contact? The captain asked.
I did, Captain, the lieutenant said. He was at the north shore of the island at midnight, just like he said.
Did he have the information? The captain asked.
Our target is most likely stationed in the capital city. Most of their forces are there. I believe it is the city Sentinel Saw to the south of the island.
Good work.
There's more, sir, the lieutenant said. The contact has been working with a small Roshia resistance. They have been trying to free some of the occupied villages, but with little success. Roshia? Nine asked. That's what the island's natives call themselves, I told him.
I wish the wind beneath their wings, but that is not the mission,
Captain Giguales said. Understood, sir, but I think they may have valuable knowledge about the island. If we can make contact with them, it could prove useful.
What do you suggest?
Private Suma, Sentinel, and I should go meet them, and learn what we can. The religion of the island includes Vikings, or Viki, as they are called here, as punishment from the Chaos Dragon. The lieutenant started to say.
Not a Viking, or a Viki, Jake mumbled, but he was ignored by the lieutenant.
Maybe we can use that to our advantage, she finished.
The captain sighed. Fine, you leave at sundown. You have 1 day to learn what you can, then get back here as soon as you are finished. Good work, squad. Now get some rest. I'll take first watch.